my name is Paul, and in today's episode I'm going to explain to you the truth about fat. Now, first of all, the first thing you need to know is that fat is essential. We need fat in order to live. We need it in our bodies. It helps us do a multiple number of things. The first thing, it helps us absorb vitamins. Second one is helps increase our brain function, and finally it helps us cushion bones and organs, which is incredibly important. These aren't the only things it does multiple other things as well. They're just a few examples. So I hope you can see from the importance of those how important fat really is. Now, in terms of the types of fat, there's three main types of fat. The first one is saturated fat. Now, these are solid at room temperature, things like animal fats, kind of the edge of bacon, something like that, would be saturated fat. And they're linked with multiple diseases, and things like cancer as well. So saturated fat is really one of the last types of fat we want to be consuming. The next is unsaturated fat. This comes in two forms. The first one is monounsaturated fat. Now this lowers our bad cholesterol, and it comes in things like sunflower seed and sesame seed oil. So it is a type of fat we want to be consuming. The next one is polyunsaturated fat, and this is probably the healthiest type of fat. Things like this are critical for healthy pregnancy. So in terms of fetal development, growing, it's incredibly important. So it helps us decrease depression, hypertension, ADHD, things like that. So you see how beneficial something like polyunsaturated fat can be. Also, we'll find them in things like nuts, seeds, fish, that type of food. Now, trans fats, these are kind of the real dangerous one in my opinion, and mostly because they're not really formed naturally in nature. They're created by man. So anything that's created by man doesn't come in nature in terms of dietary food is kind of a bit dubious. And these are kind of found in cakes, biscuits, pastries, things like that, and it's used basically to increase shelf life, so it doesn't go off so easily. Now, these trans fats, the artificial trans fats, they raise your cholesterol, and that leads to things like heart attacks and strokes. So those are really, you want to be staying away from that, and staying away from mostly saturated fat as well. Polyunsaturated fat and monounsaturated fat, really the healthiest types of fat for you. So in terms of the essential fat we need, these are going to be the ones you want to be consuming. Now, you want about 20 to 30% of your diet to come from fats. Okay, anything more than that, it's not necessarily bad for you, but you want to use it up on other things like proteins and carbs and stuff like that. And you don't really want to drop below that simply because you need it to help you keep yourself healthy and keep your body functioning well. Now, this kind of myth that fat makes you fat, I think comes from here, which is 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. So if you take the other two, for example, proteins and carbohydrates, 1 gram of each of those equals 4 calories. So I see how people can get a bit confused in terms of fat makes you fat, because there's more calories in fat than there is in the same amount of proteins or carbohydrates. So really, the answer is that gaining weight is a calorie gain, not necessarily the constitution of the food entirely. So the fact you're overeating on calories is going to be the reason you're gaining weight, not the fact you're necessarily overeating on fat. But I hope it's given you a little bit more about, a little bit more information about fat and the kind of good fat we need, as well as the bad fat and what to stay away from, kind of what it consists of as well. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. I'd love it if you could subscribe. But if not, I'll see you on the next episode.